Hi guys, I hope all of you are doing well. I'm Niladri Mukherjee. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, and I'm the founder and the CEO of Nuvonation Immigration Consulting. When client comes for a consultation after facing a refusal on the visitor visa application, the first question they have is that I have a fantastic travel history, yet my application got refused. That's one part, and that I would like to either go for an appeal or I can go for a reconsideration, but I really don't want to reapply because I think everything has been done correctly. Objective of the video is to try to give you a realistic idea as to the options you have on the table. I made a video on this topic previously as well, but just to clarify some of the concepts so that you do not make any mistakes going forward. First, let's talk about the travel history. Immigration Refugee Protection Act of Canada and the regulations do not give any provisions to directly correlate your past travel history with either the approval or the rejection of your Canadian visit visa application. In other words, you could be a globetrotter, yet if your application does not satisfy all the clauses that comes under regulations 179, it will be refused. Or it could be your very first application. You can have a blank passport. Even then, if you satisfy all the criteria that come under 179 of the regulations, your application will be approved. So please do not think that if you have a US visa, UK visa, if you have been to Australia, New Zealand, it just increases the chances of your success by that much. Not really. Obviously, if you have a US visa, if you have been to the US, and after the visit, if you have lawfully went back to your home country, yes, it's a good point. For UK, certainly. For Germany, yes. For Australia, yes. But again, those travels do not give a lot of emphasis on your proposed Canadian visitor visa application, because it could be a very well documented fact that US does not have like a well defined asylum system or a liberal asylum system, for example, as compared to Canada. So for example, from immigration perspective, if they could very well think that claiming an asylum in Canada is way easier as compared to claiming the same in UK or Australia or the US, and hence they may think that you will not go back, or whatever the reason. This is just one of the examples. So being well traveled is definitely good, but having been to multiple countries does not give any direct advantage or a lot of weightage on your proposed visit visa application to Canada. That's number one. Second confusion is whether I should be going for an appeal or I should be going for a reconsideration. Probably neither of it, because again, if you go back and check the rejection letter that you have received, the rejection letter itself tells you the options that you have on the table, and that is a reapplication. Let's talk about the appeal first, right? As a foreign national, you do not have any appeal right to start with. What sometimes people confuse as appeal is the process called judicial review. Judicial review is not really an appeal process. Judicial review is that you are requesting the Federal Court of Canada to appoint a different immigration officer to review the same file that you have already submitted. Whether the Federal Court of Canada is going to take cognizance of your request or no, whether they will approve the judicial review or no, is one step, and if they approve, only then the judicial review process starts. So it's an expensive, time taking, and in my opinion, it's a very tedious process that you probably should have all the reasons to ignore just for a visitor visa application, right? Reconsideration, Immigration Refugee Protection Act of Canada and the regulations or the operating principles, the operating instructions do not have any provision of the reconsideration. So you can definitely request to reconsider the decision through the help of a web form. 90% possibility that you will not receive a decision on the reconsideration, and even if you do receive a decision, that is going to take a very long time, and the probability of rejection on that decision is also very high, because you are not paying any money to the government of Canada to do the reconsideration process. You have paid the government fees, they have already given you a decision. If you think that you are not happy with the decision, you can go for a judicial review, which I have said is an expensive and time-taking process. But yes, theoretically, you can go for a reconsideration. The possibility of general success on a reconsideration is very less, it's very limited, which is why as an immigration consultant, I don't go for a reconsideration at least 99% of the times, except for a very few select cases where I genuinely think that the officers have made a mistake. But that's not the case typically in case of a visitor visa applications. Those are much critical and much serious applications. So again, Back to the story, the options you have on the table is to go for a reapplication. That's exactly what is being mentioned on the rejection letter, that if you think that your situation has substantially changed, reapply. And also, if you're applying from well-traveled, like highly trafficked countries such as India, Philippines, Pakistan, Bangladesh, China, for example, right? The processing time vary. For example, from India, it's about 30 days, as we are making this video in March 2024. From Pakistan, it's about 4 to 5 months. Philippines, 2 months, give or take, right? But at least you have a defined processing time within which you get a decision. You are you are able to submit a very different application, a new application, by ensuring all the mistakes that IRCC has pointed out, or all the points that IRCC has pointed out, is not there in your new application. So that's the benefit of a reapplication. And if you need our professional assistance to understand, first of all, which options you have on the table, reconsideration, reapplication, or a judicial review, probably a consultation will put you place in the right direction. Open to the website nuvonation.ca, book a relevant professional consultation. I'll be more than happy to go through your documents to take proper stock into your situation to guide you in the right direction. Hope this helps. Bye now.